Welcome to one more episode of Mini Hack Solved. My name is Chandrika. I am a developer relations engineer here at Salesforce. In this episode, we'll be solving a Tableau use case. This gives you a basic overview of how to analyze data using Tableau. We'll be creating data source using files and then some visualizations using this data. Now let's look at the hack. This is the hack. In this, we are going to analyze electric cars data and then create these 4 visualizations using the given data in Tableau. To start solving this hack, first we need to log on to Tableau. We can create visualizations using Tableau Desktop, Tableau Cloud or Tableau Server, but for this use case we'll be using Tableau Cloud site. I have already logged into my Tableau Cloud site. This is how it looks like. And then we need these 2 CSV files to solve this hack. Now let's go through the requirements. To analyze the data, first we need to create a workbook. So let's create a workbook now. In my Tableau Cloud, towards the right you have an option to create a new workbook. And then we'll click on the workbook button here. As soon as you create a workbook, it will ask you to connect to the data. For this hack, the data is available in CSV files, so I'll choose files here and then select the file. First, I'll be uploading the electric car CSV file. It might take few seconds to upload this data. Now we'll upload the other CSV file as well. To do so, we have to move on to the data source tab. And here you have to make a new connection. We'll click on it. And choose the other file now. The other file is the zip code CSV. We'll open it. Yeah, now we have both the CSV files. Let's just drag the other file as well onto the canvas. Yeah. Now we have to connect these 2 CSV files by setting up a relationship between them. Both these CSV files have a zip code field in common, so let's use that field and connect them. In electric car CSV, it is called as postal code, and whereas in the zip code CSV, the field is zip code only. I'll choose it. Yeah. Now we have successfully set up a relationship between them. Now let's move on to the worksheet and look at the fields. So now we have both the electric car CSV fields as well as the fields from the zip code CSV as well. Now we are all set to create visualizations using these fields and data. Let's move on to the requirements and look at our first visualization. Our first visualization is to see where are people buying electric cars. As given in the requirements, first let's create a calculated field using this formula. I'll copy this formula and create a calculated field using this. Here, from this drop down, you have an option to create a calculated field. Let's create it. Calculated field is nothing but a formula field. So we'll just paste the formula here. So basically this formula gives us the number of electric vehicles per 100,000 population in that area. So let me just rename this field electric cars per capita. Let's click on OK. So now this field is added to our list of fields here. To see where are people buying electric cars, let's just drag this field onto the rows pane. And then let's look at this data by zip code. So we'll also drag the zip code field onto the columns pane. Now we have the data by each zip code. In the show me button here, we have all the charts available in Tableau. So we can choose whatever chart we want based on the data that we are trying to visualize. For this data, I'll be choosing area map chart. So I'll click on this map. Yeah. Now our data is visualized in the map format. If you hover over any part of the map, it will show you the zip code as well as the electric car per capita of that area. But by seeing this map, it is hard to differentiate between each zip code. So we have an option to customize the color of this map. So I'll just change the color of this map. We can do so by using the drop down here in the legend. I'll click on this drop down, and here we have an option to edit colors. I'll click on this button, and then we'll choose the sunrise sunset diverging color palette from here. Yeah, with this the color has been changed, and now with this color compared to the previous color, it is easy to differentiate between different outliers in this data set. If you see some of the zip codes are brighter here, so it's easy for us to differentiate between the outliers in this data set. Now let's go back to the requirements. And our next step is to add income median and population to the tooltip. So let's add income median. Drag the income median onto the tooltip as well as population. So with this, if you hover over any zip code, you will have more context over that zip code because we can see the income median, population and per capita of that area. Now let's rename this sheet to electric cars per capita. With this visualization, we can see that more electric cars are being brought in this area. Now let's move on to the second visualization. In the second visualization, let's see what factors are leading people to buy electric cars in these areas. Let me go back to the workbook and let me quickly zoom into this map. This area is looking brighter, but the population is only 677. This could be the data sample size issue, so let's not dive deep into this. First, let's filter out any zip codes that are having population less than 1000. Otherwise, it could screw up our data analysis. So let me just drag the population field into the filters pane, and average population should be at least 1000. So now that we have filtered the map, this zip code is looking brighter, and if you see the details, the population is over 24k and electric cars per capita is also higher. So this could be a potential data point for us to analyze now. So if you click on this, this is the data guide button. If you click on this, it gives you explanations related to this data point. See, it says that electric cars per capita is higher than expected. Let me click on this. Now we can see the factors that are contributing to this electric cars per capita, which are income mean and income median. You can drill deep into this by clicking on this drop down, and here you can see some more explanation and a graph. You can click on this button to view this graph in a new worksheet. So let me do that. Yeah, this is the data point that we are trying to analyze, and it looks like this data point has higher average income median as well as higher electric cars per capita. This means that income median is related to electric cars per capita. Maybe electric cars are too expensive and only people with higher incomes are purchasing electric cars. It seems like income is one of the factors for buying electric cars. Now let's go back to the requirements and look at our next visualization. As our last insight raised the question of whether electric cars are too expensive, now in this visualization, let's determine the price range of buying new electric cars. We will be using MSRP field for the price. Let's go back to the workbook. Now let's create one more sheet for this visualization. In the first step, we'll add MSRP field to the rows pane, and then we'll choose histogram chart for this visualization. Let me click on this. Now we can see the number of electric cars purchased based on their price. This dataset has both new vehicles as well as used vehicles. For our analysis now, we'll only use new vehicles. So let's filter out only new vehicles. So let's drag new or used vehicle field into the filters and select only the new value. Click on OK. Likewise, we'll filter only the cars that are purchased in year 2021 and 2022. So let's drag the sale date as well into the filters pane, and year filter, we'll choose 2021 and 2022. Click on OK. Now we have only the count of cars that are purchased in 2021 and 2022 and only new cars. We'll also look at this data by each year. So let's drag sale date into the rows. So now we have cars by each year. To differentiate between the years, let's add color coding to this graph. So let's drag sale date onto the color. Now the color is applied year wise. So from this graph, we can see that electric cars with less than 60K have been purchased more in the year 2022. With this, we have finished this visualization as well. So let's rename this sheet to, click on rename, and we'll name it as MSRP distribution of electric cars. Now let's look at our fourth visualization. In this visualization, we'll see what are the top 10 most affordable electric cars. So to do this visualization, we'll first need these two calculated fields. One for make and model and the other one for the number of electric cars. Let me just copy the formula, first formula, and create a new calculated field. Paste this formula and we'll name it as make plus model. Click on OK. Sorry, I forgot to create a new sheet. Yeah, our formula is available here. And let's create one more calculated field with the other formula. So this formula basically gives the number of electric vehicles. So I'll just rename it as hash electric cars. So now we'll use both these fields to find out the top 10 electric cars. First, let's drag the make and model field into the rows. So now we have all the make and model of the cars listed here. And then we'll drag the number of electric cars, hash electric cars field to the column field. So we have make and model of each car along with the number of cars. So we'll filter out only the top 10 cars from this. So I'll filter by make and model, just apply filter. And here we need the top 10. So let's choose top or bottom and we'll drill down by field. So we'll select by field and then we need the top 10 cars by the count. So we have chosen the electric cars field here. Let's click on OK. Yeah. Now we have top 10 electric cars based on the number of cars. So now let's drag the MSRP field as well into this let's drag MSRP field so that we know the price of the car as well while looking at this visualization. Now we have MSRP as well, but we don't need it by sum. We just need the price of each car. So let's just put median instead of sum. Yeah. Now we have make and model along with the number of cars and their price. To make this visualization more interesting, let's also add image of each car into this visualization. For this, they have given a formula in the requirements. So let's just copy the formula which gives the image. And let's create one more calculated field for the image field. Paste this formula and we'll say it as car image. If you look at this formula, we have been aggregating it. Otherwise, it would give all the images of all the models, but we just need one for each model. So that's why we are aggregating it. Click on OK. And one more step here. To indicate Tableau that this is a URL field, let's choose the image role as URL so that the Tableau understand that this field is a URL field. Now we'll add this image field as well into the visualization. So we have car model, car image, and the number of cars that have been purchased per each model and the price of each car. We'll sort this by ascending order so that cheaper cars will be on the top. And also let's add some color to this visualization to differentiate between the number of cars and the price of cars. So let me right click here and we'll choose color for median MSRP. Let me give it some green color. Yeah. From this visualization, we can see that the popular electric vehicle is Nissan Leaf because the price of this car is around 29k and almost about 20k cars have been purchased. This indicates that this is the most popular electric cars. Let's rename this sheet as top 10 electric cars. With this, we have finished our fourth visualization as well. So now let's go back to the requirements and look at next steps. The next step is to create a summary dashboard and add all the 4 visualizations that we have created. So let's go back to the workbook and create a dashboard now. This is the dashboard icon, so I'll click on it. Now we'll add all the 4 visualizations to this dashboard. Let's drag the first sheet, and similarly we'll also add the second sheet. We'll adjust them later, but now I'll keep on adding all the 4. I'll drag the 4th one, 3rd one and 4th one as well. We have all the legends on the right, we don't need them, so I'll just delete it. If you see, there is some white space at the bottom. We can adjust the spaces and everything. So to do that, just click on the chart, and here in this drop down we have an option called fit, and make it fit to entire view. Yeah, now it is adjusted. Similarly, we can also add some descriptions and any names if required. Now let's publish this dashboard. Click on publish as, and let's make it as electric cars analysis and hit publish. Now the dashboard is ready. So if someone wants to look at the electric cars data, they can just simply access one single dashboard like this and look at the data in one single page. That's all for this video. Thanks for watching.